January meeting of the Blaine County School Board. As you'll notice, we have some new members. We're glad to welcome. With that, we'll get started this evening with the invocation.
We need to close.
Certify closed meeting.
Yeah. Need a motion to, well, you do that.
Is there a motion to certify a closed meeting?
I'll make a motion. We have to exit closed meeting first, so, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to exit closed meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now we need a certification of the closed meeting.
Motion to approve certification of closed meeting conducted on this date, January 11th, 2022 as follows. Whereas the Blaine County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712D of the Code of Virginia requires certification of the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law, now therefore be it resolved that the Blaine County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only such public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this certification applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Is there a motion to certify the closed meeting?
I'll make that motion to certify the closed meeting.
Is there a second?
Everybody second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Welcome, everybody. We're glad to have you tonight. We have the public comment sign-up sheet up here up front, so if you would like to sign up to speak, feel free to come forward, sign up, and when we get there, or at 6:45, we will start public comment. So at this time, I ask Dwayne Bailey to provide our invocation for this evening.
Lord, we thank you for the day. God, we always thank you for your mercy and thank you for your grace. God, ask you to bless this meeting. God, bless us with wisdom and knowledge, Lord God, to make the decisions that are always in the best interest of the kids, the county, the teachers, our staff. God, just ask you to continue to bless us, God. Just remember all those who are sick today, Lord. Just watch and keep them blessed and heal. We thank you for all you've done for us, all you're going to do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you would stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, we will look at the minutes from the December 14th regular meeting. Forgive us as some of our new members are looking through some of this information, and we may take just a little bit longer looking through some of this that we would normally carry through fairly quickly.
Please.
So
we'll
let you guys review this, but basically Lenore puts this together for us, and we're very appreciative as the duties of the clerk of the board. And these are posted also for the public to review on board docs. As soon as these things are posted, the public is able to go out there and access board docs from the school system website, so you can see what's on the agenda. You can download any of the revenue, expenditure reports, all the things that the board sees as public information. So you can see those things, and that's publicly accessible to you. So just to let you know that that's there. But basically, these are the minutes from the December meeting. Is there any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Would there be a second?
Second the motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. Enrollment reports. Board members, you have in front of you, our current total is 707. This is broke down in a couple of different ways. You see 2021, 2022 school year, and then a 2020 to 2021 comparison, so you can judge by the months. You'll see with these an increase year over year. From December we had 662 to 707 this current year, and part of that reason is because we have allowed out-of-district students to join the virtual academy through Blaine County Public Schools. and that's afforded us a great opportunity, and we look for that to continue to grow and use it for the building of our virtual academy with Region 7, in which we went together with the Region 7, several school systems. Not every one of them, I don't believe, Mr. Meade has joined the Regional Academy in District 7, but vast majority have and found great worth in it. So with that, you can see each grade level's number of students in-house and also out of district. And also you can see the out-of-district students that we have that come in. And I believe that speaks to great wealth of knowledge as well as experience that we give our kids in Blaine County. Any questions?
On that.
Okay. Next up, we are going to talk about our financial reports. Those are before you. You see the revenue report, which basically tells us where all the monies that come in that we have that go to a lot of various programs that are funded. And I'll piggyback off of what Mr. Shepherd said in the last meeting, that we have somewhere around 40 different sources of funding that provide the sustenance for our school system. You can see we're at 60%, 60.45% of realization of those funds. And one of the other things that I look at when I look at the expenditure report is I go to all the way to the last page, and I like to look at how much of that have we used. We used 42.7% of our budget, so that's a good thing. You can also look there line by line to see how much of that is, so we're in good shape. But also with that, I want to encourage new board members, if you have questions. I know Ms. Walters is with us tonight. We appreciate her. She does a great job for us, and feel free to ask any questions beforehand and whenever you have them. So, questions?
Thank you.
Cindy, can we go back to sending this out to us, you know, the projections? Can send that, you remember you used to send that to me in Excel?
Yeah.
Can you go back to doing that as well? Whenever, just whenever you get time, there's no rush. I read Excel a lot better than I read these sometimes, so. All right, just no rush, no rush.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll now move on to updates from principals.
All you got.
Principal?
You'll have to do.
We don't have to approve the financial report, that comes down in action item, right?
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got nice looking shoes.
Different ones today.
Oh,
Good evening, greetings from Blaine County Elementary School. Enrollment currently stands at 342, which is an increase of 2 from last meeting, I guess, just last year. Attendance trends, we currently have 34 students who are on COVID or out with COVID-related absences, which makes up about 10% of our student population. That's quite a bit of an increase from where we were even just last week. 5 of those students have been confirmed as positive test cases. So we were working and we did all the contact tracing involved with that. We commend our families, our parents and guardians for continuing to reach out to us, because at this point it's a piece of transparency. The more they can tell us and share with us and we can keep confidential, the safer we can keep everybody else in the building. There's been some concern shared on the part of parents about how much time students necessarily have to be out of the building with the changes in policy coming from CDC and those pieces. So that's obviously a piece that probably will be discussed. Let's see. We currently have 0 faculty and staff who are out with COVID-related absences, which is awesome. And then we have 12 students currently in the Region 7 Virtual Academy. I think we were at 17 last semester from our last count. Key events going on in the building. We had PD planned for January 3rd, and we did that as a remote working day. We were actually able to take care of about half of what we planned. We had to postpone one of those face-to-face PD trainings for some of our teachers, but we're able to power through with our Discovery Science piece. They worked with us. Our teachers were able to log on remotely, get that piece completed, so we have implemented that science curriculum for our students. Regulation and restraint training. that we have scheduled, and we really did want to get that done as quickly as possible. We're currently in the middle of PALS testing. We've actually gotten 1st through 3rd grades completed, and sharing and looking over reports today, every student in 1st through 3rd grade has made growth since last semester, which is pretty huge. It's amazing what happens when you go to school.
Yeah.
So we were pretty excited about that. Our 6th grade is on their way back from Biltmore as we speak. They should be home probably within the next hour. That was a trip that was utilizing a quill grant, so that was pretty exciting for them today. I think the best part was they didn't take me, so I didn't have to ride a bus. But I do love the trip. Would have been a good time with the students for sure. And a robotics team is up and running again, so we're excited to see that and get some other after-school programs going here shortly. Moving forward, we have a dental clinic with the Bland Ministry Center set for January 19th and 20th. So if parents are seeing those forms come home in backpacks, actually it might have been today. Planning for our preschool and our kindergarten registration and screening has begun, so it's already that time. We're thinking about next fall, so what we can do for enrollment to keep our numbers up, get those students through the doors. We have had a contractor in to evaluate our doors for rekeying. They came in right at the end of the semester. We called today to get clarification about getting information back, and they said, well, the guy who did it has COVID, so he'll be back within 2 weeks. So we'll get that taken care of, but hopefully get that information back. He speculated that to do the exterior doors would be less than $500 though. Speculated, not for sure, but I said, I'll pay you now. So we'll see how that works out. And then interior doors, quite a few doors on top of that. With sheet metal is currently working in the lower portion of the pre-K building to get that up and running so we can get the airflow going and get some groups in there for after-school programs. So we're pretty excited about that. And with that kind of is where we are. We're happy to get the semester rolling and keep the snow days away. Maybe.
Building staying pretty clean?
What's that?
Is your building staying clean since?
Yeah,
start of the
we've
new
been
year?
consistent here the last couple of days. There are always pieces that can be improved upon. I think that comes down to training, but I think there is a concerted effort to get that done.
Maintenance good?
Yeah, actually, they did quite a few projects over break. A lot of lights have been replaced. All the floors were waxed. The bathrooms were spotless when we came in, coming out of winter break. They're continuing to replace some lights, so work orders are getting done very quickly. So that's been nice. I've actually seen an additional body in the building to help with those.
Good.
On top of Jake, so it's a nice turnout for those pieces. And then keeping the consistency with the custodians has been nice as well, too. I know they have their own, everybody gets sick this time of year, so you can't necessarily put a finger on that being the major cause, but I think the effort's improving.
You got plenty of subs and stuff? No problem getting subs?
Never, but the nice thing about our building, and it's probably the best place I've ever worked for that factor, everybody's willing to pitch in to help out.
Okay.
So if we have to kind of do a little bit of juggling, we luckily have Mr. Wall, who's our full-time sub. He's got somewhere to be every day.
Okay.
He's never kicked his feet up. He's always moving, so we've got somewhere if I have to cover a class for a short amount of time.
Yeah, I just,
We just
with
make it
COVID
happen.
and stuff, I just,
Yeah, we could
kinda
always
wa-
use more subs, and subs have lives too,
Yeah.
so even when you call, you sometimes are like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not available.
right,
But we make do.
okay.
And the faculty knows that, and they've been very cooperative to kind of give us a lot of planning ahead of time, unless it's an emergency situation, so we make it work. We're not alone in that either, we know that, so. It's a nationwide problem.
Do you find on your COVID reporting, do you find that the parents you deal with are generally good about self-reporting and giving
But
you guys information and so forth?
Every parent who's, I've got a number on is self-reported.
Okay,
So the numbers are gonna come from there primarily first. And then we work with them to determine, okay, when did you first see symptoms? Where's the 10 days from there? And if we have to do additional 10-day quarantine because you all live in the same home. And I thank parents immensely for that, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to protect all the students and faculty and staff in the building. With 350 kids,
Right.
there are some fragile souls in the building. And so all of those 34 numbers there are simply just because those parents have called us. Very few cases have we gotten on the phone and called them first. Usually they reach out to the teacher talks to me, and then we give them a call. So
Great.
we really do appreciate that. It's
Good.
huge.
Yeah.
Great community.
good. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. You got a report from Tyler? Or?
Tyler can't be here tonight. He's covering a sporting event. He has an enrollment 374 students. 10 students are now in quarantine, and one of those students are currently positive. No staff are quarantined. Exams and first quarter benchmarks have been completed. Report cards went home today. Key events, robotics, attended a meeting in Abington this past Saturday with Mr. Consley and Mrs. Cole and Mrs. Fortner. Congratulations to all the students who participated. Basketball is about half through their season, and all levels are extremely competitive. We have had 2 recent season-ending injuries on both our girls and boys clubs. Please keep those individuals in your thoughts. MAC season has officially begun. Our first scheduled meet was canceled due to weather, but we are in action this Thursday at home. The Christmas concert will be held January 20th at Bland County High School. Please mark your calendars.
What was that date again? I'm sorry.
January the 20th. He doesn't have a time, so. Plans moving forward. OHSA testing for vocational students is coming up. This is free of charge to those individuals. Thank you, Mrs. Hodock and Ms. Rafford, for providing the testing. The crowning of Mr. and Mrs. Bland County High School will occur during the quad basketball game on January 28th. Please come out and support our clubs and the activities crownings. Spring sport interest meetings have been held, and we plan on producing a variety of competitive spring sports teams in March. Board help, he's requesting we fund an athletic trainer at all home ball games to help the safety and well-being of both home and away teams. Would be greatly beneficial and helpful to our coaching staff.
What's he saying there? He wants to have an athletic trainer on site for every game?
For every home game.
Does he have any suggestions?
Those people are hard to find.
Yeah.
Something that we can look for.
Yeah, we can look forward.
Do you think we could have anybody within?
I don't think we have an athletic trainer. I don't think so. I'd have to check and see. I don't know.
Give us a scope of kind of what he's wanting them to do, pretty much.
You're dealing with injuries and things like that. Needs to be somebody that's got some training.
Yeah.
And,
Certifications.
yes, so.
All right.
Have we ever had anything like that? We've never had anything like that.
No,
Jason, you-
we,
That's why I'm here.
Okay,
We'll bring it up. In the
All right, sounds good.
okay.
I do know way back in the day, we reached out, I think it was Mr. Puckett, he reached out to Bluefield College, of course, a different thing, certification, and some of those students that were in that field closed in on.
That would be-
I have one
Closing
real
in on-
close to me that's in that field, be graduating in May.
What's his name?
He-
Reach out there, they even
He's
come
going
over
to
and
PT
gave us
school,
some
so.
demonstrations and different things.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some possibility there, I don't know.
Great. Coordinator of Virtual Learning and Student Services. Welcome.
Thank you. You should have a sheet in front of you that says updated virtual learning numbers. There might be a few discrepancies between mine and the one that Ms. Parker had created, and that's just because hers was created at the end of December, and these numbers are based off of today. So through Ingenuity, we have 22 total students. 9 of the students had actually returned to in-person learning, and then we gained 8 students. So a pretty even number there. Some of the students were required to return to in-person because they weren't able to keep up with the coursework or attend all the classes or didn't have enough internet service where they lived. And then some of the students just decided on their own that they decided to return back to in-person learning. Through Stride, we have 16 total students, and 4 students returned to in-person learning. The reason we don't have any students enrolling in Stride is because that can only be done at the beginning of the school year. It can't be done in the middle of the school year. So the total amount is 38, 16 elementary students and 22 high school students. And then our out-of-district Stride virtual learning students that are enrolled through Bland County, we currently have 43.
Well, I know that number's come down, several students. What's a major reason for that, what,
not keeping up with the coursework through Stride, or the parents just decided to enroll their student into public school.
okay, wherever they're located.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that something, like, for next year, we can look for those numbers to increase if we go out and,
If we decide to continue like we did this year, then yes, we can take
we
on
can-
more students if we want to.
okay.
Talked to a student that's on virtual learning who actually resides in Blaine County, and they were talking about how much that they enjoyed it, because they could work ahead and get ahead with their studies and so forth. So I think this is a great thing to complement our in-person, gives parents flexibility, as well as those that are out of the district, if they want to be a part of this, because this is unique. There's these things aren't set up all around the state, you know, it's, other school systems are looking for something like this.
And our students that are doing virtual learning, it's not just for the reasons of COVID. A lot of them are actually just doing it because mom and dad might have to travel a lot for work. They can make the learning fit to their schedule. I have some students that are just doing it for health reasons. They decided it was better for them to stay home for this semester, things like that, so.
Any other questions?
Sir,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
appreciate that info.
Supervisor of Technology, Ms. Tate.
Well, Chromebooks, every month I tell y'all Chromebooks. We spend a lot of time with Jonathan and Mike spend a lot of time with the Chromebooks. They try to stay on top of all the help desk tickets and all of that. And they do. They're kept up to date, that I keep here just for testing to have as loaners for those kids out there. So but we stay on top of it because we want the kids to have those. We continue to monitor updates on the software that we have during the holidays. Mike and I both promoted in to make sure that the servers were, with us not being there every day, getting their updates and making sure that they were on, so we didn't have to run up there and see. Well, I didn't have to run up there and see that they were on. Last week of January, I'll be working with Karen. We're going to test some 11th and 12th grade students that need that end-of-course writing for their verified credit. So we'll be doing the work keys through ACT with them. So we're trying to get that set up and ready to go. It's just a handful of kids. And we're starting, spring testing is right around the corner. So we're working to get that ready to go. And I had a meeting yesterday a Zoom meeting with the testing director for those out-of-district students that Cynthia was talking about. And the only thing I will have to do for that is upload those students into Pearson. They will take care of all of the testing of those out-of-district, but they will be our students. That was good to hear because I was a little nervous as to how I was going to have to handle that, but it went well. And I was surprised because the two ladies I talked to who do the assessment for Stride, one is from Blacksburg and the other one was from Floyd County. Cool. And they worked in the school division, so they were right on board, knew exactly what needed to be done. So that was a relief to me too. So, any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mead, this brings something other to my memory. We need to, at some point, appoint someone to serve on our Region 7 seat. Something other to put on, I guess, on another agenda.
Do I have a volunteer?
I will, if
Okay.
nobody else.
Y'all all right with Philip doing it?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
No?
I'm fine.
Okay. I'll send your name in.
That'd be fine. I just remember that was something other we talked about.
Yeah, we talked
doing.
about it last time.
Supervisor of Special Services.
Hello.
Hey, good evening.
I went ahead earlier and put one of these at your seats, so you should already have it. Just a couple of updates for me. In December, I finished the December 1 child count for special education and reported that to DOE. So just some updated numbers for you there. We currently have 139 students that we are providing special education services for in Bland County, and those are students from the ages of 3 to 21. We had 129 students this time last year, so we are up a few. Student placement at the elementary, there are 62 students receiving SPED services. 7 of those are early childhood, which means that they could be at Head Start or SOFA, Steps of Faith Academy, or with our preschool that we have at the school. We have 77 students at the high school. And I put numbers out there for you from 2020. We had 64 at the elementary and 65 at the high school, so we have shown an increase. We do have, out of the 50 virtual students that are out of county, 10 of those, I believe it's 10 of those are special education students. So that's included in that high school number there. And then the only other thing I had was just an update with STEM. The application for teachers has been sent out for them to apply to be teachers for our STEM after-school program, which will be starting in March. And that's it for me, unless you have any questions.
How often are we reminding teachers about applying for quill grants and funding to do that for their classrooms and so forth? Is that an ongoing process?
Yeah, Lenore sends it out. I think you guys have a meeting, what, next? Tomorrow.
We only really solicit applications about twice a year. So we send that reminder out about 4 weeks before time. And of course, teachers can be working on it at any time. It's just, there's certain times of the year we actually look at them.
That's usually when we have money to give, so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Laura. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and let the superintendent speak, and then we'll go to public comment, if that's all
Okay,
right
I'll
after him.
be as brief as possible. Today I've got a letter from Francis Bradford, Secretary of Education, and it was talking about the governor that's getting ready to leave, Ralph Northam. They have put together a booklet called Thank You, Virginia, which names all his accomplishments since he's been in office. And she would like for me to have it available for anybody that would like to see it. So it's really nice, little fold. So it's here if you guys would like to take a look at it. Feel free to grab it and share it with each other, or whatever you want to do with it. So, Virginia Department of Health has sent out new guidelines, and these are basically recommendations right now. However, I looked at Mount Rogers Health District COVID-19 report today, and if you go back to in Bland County, if you go back to December the 20th, Bland was looking at 10 cases, positive cases, in one student. By the time December 27th rolled around, we were at 30 and 4 students. And now January the 2nd through the 8th, we're at 48 adults and 8 students. So we're trending up again. Now, I don't know if that's the variance or what, but we are trending up. So the new governor, I think January the 20th, he'll step in. And my feelings right now is we stay the course until we hear what he has to say. And we have talked about coming back to another meeting here in January before we decide what we're going to do with this. Also, I'd like to publicly acknowledge our attorney, Craig Wood. Craig's been our attorney since I've been here. He's really good. He represents a lot of schools systems throughout the Commonwealth. He retired on December 31st. So keep him in your thoughts. I hope he enjoys retirement, He's a real nice guy. Welcome our new board. Take us a little while to get used to you, but we'll throw you right in the fire, man.
Same here, we'll be all right.
We're doing the best we can with weather and closings and things. It's every year I tell you, it's a lose-lose decision for myself, and a lot of times you make decisions, like, why did he do that, you know, and it's, when you get down to single-digit numbers, when you get, everything's wet and that night it freezes over, you've got to go late, and we try to take every precaution we can for our students and our student safety. And I know at times it aggravates parents, especially this going late, and I try to make calls before the morning so parents can be ready. And sometimes that's impossible, but we do try. And I've told you the story about the lady that called me from 42 and said, asked me why I did what I did, and I told her I look at this and look at that, and she said, have you tried looking out the window? And so that goes down to one of my best. I couldn't answer that. Sports seasons are right in the middle of basketball. Basketball is exciting here in Bland. If you haven't seen our girls or boys play, please get out and try to catch a game. I'd like to take this time, we talked the last meeting, Ms. Gates and Ms. Saylor has been our cheerleading sponsors since I've been here. Volunteering, spending a lot of money of their own. They've taken care of our girls and our cheerleaders. They're gone. They decided to not do it next year, and we'll have to replace them, but I'd like to acknowledge them publicly. They did a really good job, and they'll be missed. Our cruise that's Mr. French has been leading has been, they're going to be detained for a while. They won't be back to finish for, he thinks, a minimum of 2 weeks. So, but they will be back. The field house is nearly complete. I think all it lacks is some painting now, and maybe, I think they got all the drywall up and stuff. So that and some repair of some toilets. So you need to do new kits for our toilets. But once it's completed, I'll take you guys down and tour it. You got to see it. They did a really good job, and it's something for our kids to be proud of. Soccer's right around the corner, and they'll be using it first. So we still need, as far as Kelly, talked to her, and as soon as John gets here to see me, I'll talk more to him about this. But we are going to have to look at purchasing some kind of generator for the high school. I don't think it has to be as elaborate as the last one we had, because I think that one was 25 years old. It was kind of used in case we had to use the school for a shelter or something. So what we needed now is to keep the freezers going and stuff. So we're going to, I'll have John come, we'll talk about that.
John.
Melvin.
Okay.
Only other updates is there's a new person in the world who's the beautifulest baby you've ever seen in your life. Her name is Ellington Grace Hawkins, and she came to us on December the 18th, 22 inches, 6.12 pounds. And that's been certified by her papa. She is the prettiest.
Does she have a mustache?
Yeah, she's got a lot more hair than her papa, but that's all I have, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll have public comment now, a little bit after 6:45. Mr. Jason Lambert, you will come and stand at the podium.
Thank you.
Thank you for your many years of service, Mr. Lambert.
Yeah, you know, we're pushing about 25 years.
You're old.
I'm getting old, and I'm feeling it too, trust me.
25 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So
Your wife
that-
don't
about
look,
as much
she
as I've
don't
been
look a day
married,
over
so,
25.
You
I
know. I don't know. But hey, you know, I just want to stop by, congratulate Mr. Andrews, Mr. H. Congratulations on the new parent, but
Thank you.
we have an issue going on, and I'm representing all the basketball coaches. You know, the game of basketball has changed over the years. We've got better athletes, we're quicker, we're faster, we're rougher, but I can tell you, just we've had some horrific incidents over the last several months. I mean, we've had kids that's busted their heads and had severe concussions. We've had, you know, we just recently had a kid break 2 bones in his foot or in his leg. I had a girl last night that we think we fractured her elbow. And it's, you know, we're having it's just kids. And it's not just ours. I mean, you remember we may have had a Radford girl that dislocated her elbow one night. And there's nothing worse for a coach is we don't know what to do. And, last night I walked on the court and she's balling and I knew, she's a tough kid and I don't know what to do. And these other coaches are the same way. And we really are in the need of a trainer or EMT. I know the county is desperate for EMTs. The other night, the young guy that broke his foot, we called the rescue squad and they couldn't send nobody. I mean, they were such, they're stretched so thin, we just have to load the kid in the truck and take him on the hospital. And, we look back and we're thinking, hey, should we have moved him? We don't know. And fortunately, Katie was there, Miss Bright, and she had some, she was able to help out. But I think we're to the point where we really need to pay somebody, either an EMT or a trainer, to be at these home games. When we go down and play in toward the New River Valley, the Auburns, the Eastmonts, the Giles, the Nairses, they have trainers on site. And I know they work through Carilion, and they do have to pay a fee, but it's worth it. I mean, I go to these sites, and Dave, how many ankles I have to wrap and tape. And, they take care of it. I give them the tape, and these trainers tape my girls. And then if one of them gets hurt, they'll say, Coach, we've got this. We'll take care of her. And they'll come back and advise me, say, no, you don't need to put her back in. I think she needs some more. And that's so helpful. It takes so much stress off of us. But I just wanted to approach you guys, and I've talked to all the basketball coaches, and I'm sure volleyball, softball, baseball, they would feel the same way. Because we're at a, old school, a parent would come off the crowd, a nurse or somebody. But with the way life in the world is now, they're afraid to.
Yeah, nurses won't touch.
They won't. And so, that's something we need to look at. I know Mr. Eastep, me and him talked about it a little bit last night. And, I think he's reached out to some the colleges and stuff. But I think they all, they want a little bit of money. But I think we're at the point where we really, really need to look into that. And maybe even have an AD/trainer. I don't know, but that's something to offer. But I wanted to bring it to y'all's attention because it is a need. And as long as I've been doing this, I wouldn't come to you unless I thought we really needed something. And I think for our safety and the school safety and our student athletes, I really think it's about time we do something for them
I know,
to cover us.
Giles works in conjunction with Carilion Hospital, and we don't have a hospital, but I'll as you was talking, I think I'll call Bluefield College tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I know they put these kids they need internship hours and stuff. It wouldn't be the best, but at least they might know how to take care of an injury.
Check with Princeton as well. Is that something we could look at? Because WVU owns them now. Would they have?
They might.
Yeah, I know Mr. Eastep, he told me last night, he said that he had looked at some stuff, but, that's something, we'll have to come across some money, I'm sure. I mean, you'll have to, but it's,
How
like
many
I
home
said,
games do we have? Let's just say every sport, you don't have to include MAC. So,
for basketball, we probably have 8 quads.
yeah.
I think we have 7 or 8 quads this year, so boys and girls both will be at home.
Yeah.
And then after that, we typically have around 10 games, so you're probably looking at 2 to 4 more home games for girls, 2 to 4 more for boys in basketball.
Right.
And volleyball, you tend to have 10 or 11 home games. Baseball, same way.
Yeah, and then
But
football,
I think it's just, it would cover us all.
soccer.
I mean, they don't come cheap.
I know.
But it'd be worth it.
I mean, it's just, it's something that,
Plus too, if we have injuries, either which way, it's somebody to really take the load off of you all's.
yeah, and it's not just us. I mean, it's the administrator on site, they do a great job, but none of us are trained like a medical person. I mean, we know concussions, we go through our coaches go through a concussion protocol with tests and stuff, but other than that, I mean, my fear is if we go out there and we have a dislocation we're just gonna have to sit and wait till the ambulance, and if they can't send somebody, what do we do?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to do.
And there could be injuries that require immediate attention.
Right. I mean, it's, if both kids would have been in tons of pain, or if we'd have had a bone sticking out, I don't know what we'd have done. I really don't. And it's, we've seen it in basketball.
You don't know about internal injuries too.
Right.
What going on, a broken leg, that's
Yeah.
done inside that leg and.
And the young girl that got hurt during middle school, she's still having issues with, having concussion and stuff. So, it's real. And like I said, kids are just, some people say they're not tougher, but they're definitely a lot quicker and rougher and, than what we used to play. So,
Stronger.
Concussion is a concussion. It don't have to be tough.
yeah, I mean, it just, like I said, but I want to bring to y'all's attention and maybe we can look at doing something, but like I said, all of us coaches are pretty worried about it right now from things we've been seeing, so. I appreciate your time.
Would Carillion be an option for us as well, or?
I don't know, I'd have to check to see, I know they, partnerships with local, I don't know if Withville Hospital has anything like that or not, but,
I know Tyler said he had called around, so he knows more. I hate he wasn't here, but he knows a little bit more too, so.
I think
But
I'll
like I
start-
said, I think it's money
I
wise.
think I'll start with colleges and work my way from there to hospitals and see what we can get. I mean, anything we can get to help would be better than what we have now.
Right, yeah. Well, I appreciate your time though, looking into it.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is our student representatives.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say hello to the new board members.
Thank you.
I'm Paige Vire, if you didn't know my name. So yeah, welcome to the school board.
Thank you.
So for beta, the virtual senior beta convention is about to begin. It's starting January 17th and it ends the 25th. We have, I think, all of the slots filled out for our competition, so pretty excited. I am personally excited because I get to go to the in-person convention and represent Bland as the beta match against Carroll County, I believe. We're so excited for it. We were pumped for last Thursday, but due to weather, it had to be canceled, which was fine. We didn't really want to be out in that weather, especially. That's been rescheduled for January 21st, I believe. I'm not 100% certain on that. The Christmas concert, or we're calling it the winter concert now for band, has been rescheduled again to January 20th at 6. Or no, at 7. I have to be there at 6.
Is it 7?
It is 7, yeah.
Okay.
I have to keep like 2 different times in line. We're so excited to finally play music for everyone, but I think it was good that we kind of held back because it has allowed us to perfect the music some more. So yeah, that's all I really have.
Like Ms. Vire said, I would like to welcome the 2 new school board members. My name is Anthony Bright,
Thank you.
and my little talk will just be brief. So FCA, otherwise known, what we call it now as Bears for Christ. For many years, we have struggled to try and get it student-led. Some being shy, some not knowing what to do, and other reasons. Just recently, we have representatives for Bears for Christ, me being one of them, along with 4 more, I believe. There will be some changes then and there, but I'm a proud representative of Bears for Christ, and I'm glad that I can lead the students who go to the devotions and lead them closer to God than I am. And it's an amazing feeling. I can stand up here and preach about them all day long, because the feeling whenever you finally get to touch and breathe and be there with God, that feeling is unmatched. But other than that, that's all I'd like to say, that I, amongst with 4 other students, are the representatives of Bears for Christ, and we are now no longer having issues with it being student-led. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, school board, Mr. Shepherd's always started over here, so since we flip-flopped, I'll start with you, Dwayne, and we'll work back this way.
Well, want to say welcome to the 2 new members, Mr. H. and Mr. Andrews. Appreciate your service and dedication and commitment. It's a big commitment, but we appreciate it. I don't really have a whole lot to add. I know that we'll have some new guidelines possibly coming out soon as far as quarantine. I'm not sure exactly what all the new governor will do on masks, but I feel like we should stick with the status quo, what we're doing right now. I don't really want to see a lot of changes just because we're kind of in the middle of an uptick, and I think we need to give it at least another month or so to see exactly where everything's at. But just appreciate all the staff and students and the staff here at the board office and everything you guys do. Hopefully, we'll be looking for a successful year. Hopefully at some point, we'll get through past COVID, having to worry so much and talk about that, and we can really get on to doing some things for the school system, for the school. I'd like to eventually maybe set some goals for the year, some things that we want to do, some goals maybe for the next 2 to 3, 4 years or whatever. So maybe we sit in one of the next meetings we have, we can actually, a business meeting or something, we can actually sit down and talk about things we want to do as a board, so.
Mr. Agee.
All right. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to work with, all the other board members, get involved with, the students, the teachers, and the parents. Once again, I'm excited to be here. I think we're going to do some great things. I'm optimistic about our school system and energetic about it. So I just think it's one of the best counties around. That's why I wanted to run. That's why I wanted to be here. So I look forward to working with everybody, and I'm glad to be here.
Mr. Andrews.
I'll echo that. Thank you so far for electing me, and then I'm pleased to be working here with these members of the board, Mr. Mead, the principals, all the students and the staff and everything here. I will ask some stupid questions by email. Now that I've got my email, I'm good to go. But I only ask.
Got a backlog coming.
Yeah, I only ask. There's no ill intent, but I appreciate everybody. Spoke with the student reps. I will publicly applaud them for getting up and doing what they do, because it's not easy to stand in front of a crowd. But I appreciate everybody. Lenore, I'll be asking you questions, and I appreciate all that you do for the board. Congratulations on your appointment as chairman.
Thank you.
And we'll work together. Look forward to working together with everybody. Thank you.
Very good. I'm excited to work in another year for the public education system for Blaine County and for our students. We have some smart kids, and we have kids that are able to do great and mighty things, and that's what we want to continue to see. We want to help them to do the very capable things, but also the things that are beyond what we even think are capable, because that's the day and time that we're in now, is doing more than what we even thought 5 years ago. And things will continue to change. I heard something others say that it's in the single digit years, every so many years now, knowledge is doubling and things are happening. We're able to use that for our students and to see great things happen inside of them. But I appreciate the board, my peers, giving me the opportunity to lead this board, and I hope and pray that we will go in a solid, positive direction for Blaine County Public Schools in 2022. I want to remind everybody that the job of a school board member basically is about 3 things, and everything else is just additional. But one of those 3 things is policy. The other one is a budget, and the other one is to make sure you've got a superintendent. And we're thankful to have Mr. Mead. But as we get ready to look at budget season, we'll talk about some of those things coming up. It's hard to believe. We also want to talk about policy, and I know Ms. Parker has several policies that we want to try to chew at and knock down as quickly as we can. So we want to advise the public that we'll be looking at some policy coming up and over the next few months. So don't feel scared. Look at it online just like the rest of us, and think about it. And if you have comments, you're welcome to come and comment on it as well. Or let people know, we would appreciate it. That would be a great benefit to us, especially driving a school bus. I mean, we don't have a lot of buses, but we have needs sometimes that we need folks to fill in for. So I think that's all about that. Let's move on to our action agenda. Look to approve the payments. Board members, you'll find in your packet treasurer's reports over the last few weeks of payments to be dispersed to these accounts.
I had a question on Carter Machinery emergency generator. What happened there? You know?
Our Kelly's not here, this is what I believe to be true. When our generator went down, we had to have them come over to see if it could be fixed and operable, and that was the fee they charged us to tell us that
This is just a troubleshoot.
yeah.
And then there was one to Sunny Merriman for like 2,400 for bus number 5. I should have sent that to Cindy and just asked for.
We've had some issues with recalls, but we've also had some buses that's had some emission problems.
Okay.
And I think that bus 5, and I don't have that in front of me,
I
was
can
one
send
of
that to
those.
Cindy. I should have sent that to her. I don't know why I sent that on here, so.
New board members, anytime you have questions about any of these payments, don't hesitate to
Sure will.
call and ask Cindy. I know the first several months I was on the board, I was asking questions, so don't hesitate to ask. You don't know who these people are, ask and find out, so you know what you're paying for, what you're approving these payments for, because you can see it adds up to be a lot of money, so I just want to encourage you to ask. Would there be a motion on the floor to approve the payments that are listed here?
I'll make a motion to approve payments.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. O&M projects, Mr. Reed, what projects do you know of at the moment are outstanding on O&M?
Well, the door still at the elementary has to be completed. I'll let you know more about that probably this week sometime. The field house has to be completed. Like I told you earlier, it's going to be 2 weeks before that's done. But that's the only two I can think of, other than day-to-day repairs of things that go down. We have old schools, and you never know from day to day what's going to go down next, so.
Is there anything else on the agenda, the things we need to do, we need to look at before? I guess we need to start, as far as bigger projects, or we're pretty much caught up on, I think we've decided we want to look at doing some projects at the high school.
High school, yeah, we talked about looking at those BARD units. Have we found out, Mr. Ashford, about applying for the state money that we were looking at to, did we have to spend that money before we would get the reimbursement from the state on the HVAC projects?
No, we were still waiting, for that to be given to us. Like, we've been awarded the money, but it hasn't all been put into, and they've got a bit as far as reimbursement.
Do you know when that's gonna come in?
I'll have to check. I left it on in a message today, so I'm not sure if there's been any updates.
And we've got a year or two to spend that money, correct?
Yes.
Back to your question, I'm meeting with the county administrator too to discuss some potential major projects. So at this time, I'm not at liberty to discuss any of those in public, but as soon as we have talked about it, I'll bring it to the board.
Cool, good deal.
I think, Mike's already on the one of the rekeying at elementary school, and then, I know Tyler hasn't said anything, but it may be something to look at a rekeying project also at high school at some point. But, I think that's something to keep your finger on that, and if we can get someone in to give us a reasonable estimate, maybe something for us to jump on to provide security for these schools.
For the rekey the high school? Yeah,
Yeah.
we've discussed it before, we just we've never actually had anybody go out and actually price it, so that's, maybe you might want to.
Some of these places, some of these things, you would be scared to price it because you don't know what it is, but some folks, it may not be as much as what you think that it is, and it's very workable for our budget, so.
If nothing else, the external doors, that's the
Yeah,
ones that
exactly,
could, because
exactly.
there's a lot of keys that are floating out there, a lot of, over the years, and I'm not even sure when the last rekey was, do we ever?
At the high school, it hasn't been an extremely long time.
Okay,
It was when, Mr. McAnander was principal,
okay,
so,
so there might not be, now, because of these that float around there,
but
so,
that was building 8.
yeah, okay.
So we'll keep our eyes open. Also, that baseball, press box door, I don't know, who might be able to add that, make sure it gets shut and locked, if there's something else that needs to be done to it.
And where we at, like on athletic? I know I should have said something about the athletic director.
We don't have anybody that wants it.
still not?
School COVID plan phase review. I know Mr. Mead, looks at our numbers. Currently, under the current plan, it's at his discretion on whether we move between phases. Currently, before, kind of get the horse in front of the cart, or cart in front of the horse, however you want to plan it, is to wait on the governor to, governorship to change hands and see what, directives that they give. And we'll go from there. Anything else on that?
So we need to table that, that's just a review, I'm sorry, never mind, that's just a review, there's no action there.
Schedule budget meeting. As you know, one of the other main functions of this body is to budget, for the schools. So we normally have a budget, I believe, hearing, is that what we're looking to schedule?
Like work section.
Yeah, budget work session.
Okay.
And then the public hearings, I think, too.
Schedule public
Yeah, it's
hearing
H.
is on there as well.
H.
So, board members, if you have your calendar, you could open up for just a moment, I guess, and look at the next month or so. These meetings, we normally try to go to the high school and the elementary school. And normally, I think, one of those meetings coincides with our regular meeting, so we kind of just have like a regular meeting right afterwards, or I think we have before.
We have maybe before, but I don't believe so. We haven't done it recently. I don't think so. I think these meetings are just usually right after school, just to hear, to talk with the teachers and tell them things that we might have coming up, to listen to anything they may have. So usually it's usually just an hour-long meeting right after school.
A public hearing, you can schedule for maybe
At the
February,
next-
March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think the teachers, we need to have right after school so more
Yeah.
teachers
Yeah.
can come.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so, schedule a budget meeting here at the school board office. When would y'all like to do that?
Does that need to be, I know early on when I was here, we done some in the middle of the day, but I think it's because of people's work schedules, we're gonna probably look towards
Evening?
after hours and stuff, yeah.
Evening will be fine.
And Cindy, we need to make sure Cindy's she's available for all this stuff, so too, as well. So, Mr. Mead, do you have any suggestions right now?
Our next school board meeting is February the 10th. I would like to have all these meetings completed by sometime in March so we can have our public hearing and be able to work on that budget so it's sent to Eric before the end of April. Now, I'm not trying to push us and everything, but I think we'll have a pretty good, so I think it'd be best to get these meetings up and going. I'd like to hear what teachers have to say. We need to see what the governor's budget's going to be, if it's going to be salary increases and those type of things. So if we could start anywhere from the end of February, I guess, on in through the middle of March, and then
As far as the first budget meeting and then the meeting?
and then the meetings with the teachers, and then our public hearing for sometime in April,
Okay.
and then have board approval on that, hopefully for that April or May meeting.
Do you know what the deadline to have the budget to the county is?
It's usually, he's been very generous with us on that because we've not known in the past but it's usually, don't quote me on this, I think he wants it by May 1st.
So we probably-
have to do the public hearing before that.
So why don't we just, if we could kind of work backwards here on the action agenda, if that's all right with you all, so kind of look at H, schedule a public hearing. If we did that at our April meeting, regular meeting, schedule a public hearing.
That would be the 14th, that we could have the public meeting right before. This usually doesn't need to last that long. There are sometimes some people but very rarely does anybody ever.
And keep
come
in
to
mind, that meeting there, we need to see what the governor's budget's gonna be. You know, if there's things in there that's gonna surprise us, like unfunded mandates and things like that, that affects our budget. And you guys will see that all the time that you're here, unfunded mandates from the state. And we have to pick up the price, or the local has to pick up the price. So say for instance, there's a 5% recommendation for pay increase. That, from the state, that's only for the standard of quality folks that's in there, and that's only like 60%. So local has to come up with the other 40%. So there's always some kind of budgetary concern when we get into this budget. It's not an easy job, it's complex. And so we can schedule these, but these meetings may change, considering on what's gonna come out of Richmond, so.
But do you want to schedule them? You want to wait another meeting to see, or?
I think we could schedule the teachers' meetings and all that, and,
I was gonna say, at subsequent meetings, can we then change?
yeah, we can
We
schedule
can
those
change
and.
them,
All right,
I think we probably should get a first budget meeting in February, or last week of January. We need to probably at least get one work session in to where we can look and see where we're at, the 24th, and if we want to put it on the same day, that's fine.
I'm good with that time. I can make it.
4 is good for me.
4 PM, all right. Would there be a motion on the floor
Yeah.
for that?
I'll make a motion to have our first budget meeting, work session on January the 25th at 4 o'clock here at the school board office.
All right, is there a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Meeting for BCHS. Do it maybe,
Do we want those in February or March?
They can happen at any time, I think.
could we do, you want to do all of them in 1 week? You want to do them once a week in February to meet with everybody?
Yeah, we could split it up, do one high school or elementary 1 week, and then the other the next
You know,
week.
you also have transportation on here as well.
Yeah, smaller one with that, if we had a couple of board members or something here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I can handle that one or something, so if we have to do that, so.
And 2 separate meetings at the elementary and high would give a person, if they missed one, to go to the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of just having one
Right,
total
yeah.
meeting or something of that nature.
So you want to say like the 8th and the 15th? Do the high school the 8th?
Is that too early, or February?
I look at like 15th, 22nd.
Okay,
Okay. So do the high school maybe the 15th?
yep.
Okay.
Can we move the other meeting to possibly the 24th?
JP, you let us know if anything,
Okay.
if
So
everything
I
works
should
for
be
you,
okay on
okay?
that.
Bland County High School meeting at 3:45, and the 24th, Bland County Elementary School at 3:45.
Okay.
Is that too early? But see, the teachers, I think they, well,
4?
okay, 4 o'clock at the elementary school then.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll do 4 o'clock at high school as well?
Or is it 3:45 there?
About 4. When does that last bus go through there? 4 o'clock, so we'd have to do 4 o'clock there too.
Okay. So I'll make a motion for the Bland County High School budget meeting to be on February the 15th at 4 o'clock at the high school.
Is there,
Is that right?
you want to go ahead and add the other one to it?
They're on here as 2 different ones. We can do it on the same one. So then also the meeting for the elementary to be on the 24th, February the 24th at 4 o'clock.
Right.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Schedule meeting with transportation. What
We can
day
do
seems
that,
good for you?
We can do that first week of March, or is that good enough?
That's fine.
And any day,
So
you know, if anybody
March-
wants to come to that,
just do
I can
March
handle
the
that if
1st?
you want to, huh?
Just do March the 1st?
Yeah, that's fine, should be fine. I can do that, and then if anybody else wants to come.
9:30 in the morning?
9:30?
Yep. Okay. Now you're gonna do your public hearing. We'll tentatively schedule that for April 12th.
Yeah. Because we'll probably, we
14th?
may have another work session in between all
14th?
this. We'll have at least a couple more work sessions, so 2 or 3.
Oh, the
4.
14th is we're doing Thursday meetings, right?
Yeah,
So it'll
Do we
be
have to have a time for
April
that?
14th.
yeah. Yeah.
You just
So,
want to say 6 o'clock? Do
yeah,
it before?
we'll come straight out of a closed session. We'll go into that in 15
won't take-
minutes,
yeah.
10, 15 minutes in case somebody does say something.
So 6 PM.
I'll make a motion for the transportation meeting to be on March the 1st at 9:30 here at the board office.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion for March 1st, 9:30.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion's carried.
And then I'll make a motion for the public hearing to be on April the 14th at 6 o'clock, right before our April 14th regular meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion for public comment on April 14th.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's, is there anyone opposed? Motion's carried.
Got a lot of meetings.
All right, that's got the budgets, hearings and
And we'll have to
meetings.
schedule a couple more work sessions in the meeting, in the middle of all that. This is the busiest time for meetings and stuff we'll have. Once we get through the budget, it kind of slows down, so it gets pretty busy this time, so.
And we want to say this, we're very open to hear what the public as well as teachers and students have to say. I mean, we're all stakeholders in this. You know, things that you see that are important to your school system and how it functions and what it does. Anything else about budget? Okay. Personnel recommendations?
We had I,
Oh, yeah,
the health insurance.
We want to look to bid out the health insurance. We've been working with Cindy, as well as I know we already had one previous meeting about this. You know, health insurance is a large cost, not just to the employer, but also to the employee. And we want to see if there's any other viable options that's out there that may provide same coverage at a lower cost to us as a school system, but also to our employees. We realize that when people look at jobs, they look at health insurance. It's obvious, it's a major thing, and we want to do our due diligence. So I'm asking for the board to, once we establish a schedule and make sure that we can get all the information out there for us to bid the health insurance package that we're currently using to see if we can find a cheaper price. Maybe there's better coverage for the same price. We don't know, but look to bid it out to get us some options so we can make a decision.
So I'll make a motion to bid out the health insurance.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, bid out health insurance.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion's carried. Personnel recommendations, we'll come back to it now. And Jay.
Take that.
He keeps you in line, doesn't
Yeah, that's right. Wait until it's there. Appreciate him.
Mr. Mead, you want to talk about the recommendations? Go ahead.
You got two recommendations in your packet. One, we'll do the first is the elevation A. I recommend you accept that recommendation.
Is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make the motion to accept candidate A as employment of Secretary of Blaine Elementary School.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's carried.
Okay, you also have in your packet a recommendation for coaching position of Bland High School football program. Principal has recommended candidate B, it looks like. So I would ask you to recommend candidate B for your recommendation.
I'd like to table this one until the next meeting.
I need a second on that.
I would second
Do we
the
need to
motion
vote on? We need to vote
If
on
we don't
tabling
choose-
something, don't we?
To table something, you need a motion and a second.
So I'll make a motion to table.
I'll make
Second.
I'll second that motion.
Is everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, very good. We have reached the end. You've reached the end
You
of your
have reached
first
the
meeting.
end of the first meeting.
The end of your first meeting. Would there be a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
I will second the motion to adjourn the first meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good. Good night, everybody. Thank you all.